called Big Cat.
Deion.
Hey, Deion.
You ready for football?
I am.
It's another season, baby.
Pro Football Show.
All right, Deion, showtime. Football is back.
Welcome to the Pro Football Show presented by the Chevy Silverado. Week in and week out, the Silverado brings it with unstoppable grit and determination. It's our yearly Thanksgiving episode. So when this is airing, everyone is getting ready to sit down. So happy Thanksgiving, folks.
Happy Thanksgiving. Look at the
Happy
cornucopia.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is beautiful. This is lovely. Very autumnal. Very fall-like.
It's very nice. So Rone, I feel like we have this argument on this show every year. When do you eat Thanksgiving dinner?
I ate it last weekend, honestly. I tried to get it out of the way. I wanted to get a jump on things, so I'm good to go for Thanksgiving. I already had it.
So you just don't eat on Thursday?
Yeah, I'm just going to skip it, you know what I mean? I'm going to focus on the games. I'm going to focus on the football. It's not about food for me.
Yeah, I know Deion, I think Brandon as well in the South, they eat it at like 10 a.m. I'm usually right around fourth quarter of the Lions game. So that way you eat and then you know, you digest and then you sit down and watch the Cowboys game.
Now, usually you eat when the main character of the family is there. Like,
yeah.
When the man gets there, you eat, or the grandmother or the matriarch of the family, you eat. This year, though, I have probably about 20 young men that couldn't afford to get home, of course, because the prices are astronomical to fly home, and we're breaking tomorrow. So I'm going to actually eat with them on Thanksgiving.
That's
and
a
then
good
I'm gonna
coach.
make it down to Texas to relax a couple of days.
Oh, I like it.
I
nice
like that
little
too.
R&R. You deserve it. Team is undefeated.
Yes, we call it N-O.
Deion, I wanted to say something real quick though before we start and get into the games. Rone and I just came from our show, The Yak. We got an interesting call on The Yak.
Oh.
So
Okay.
sounds like it's official. Your guy Pac-Man versus Bobby Lang, December 9th, Providence, Rhode Island. It's been set. I told Pac-Man, I texted him after, I said, you better bring the cash again, because he's like an ATM for me. I'm going to get all the gifts, all my holiday gift shopping is going to be done through Uncle Pac-Man. So
You got to realize now, he knows the structure and the order. Last time, he was a little taken back by everything and how expeditious the fight was. Like, it was a quick fight.
Yeah.
But it was like hype. I mean, it was, first of all, that had to be the most hype
It was.
rough and rowdy there's ever been. When he came in, he and Bobby Lang. First of all, Bobby's unbelievable. Let's get that straight. Bobby is my guy. He's unbelievable. I want to be there to see it, but I can't. I'm still going to be playing. So I would love to be there to see it.
Well, you'll watch. And again, I appreciate you pushing Pac-Man to do this because he's just going to keep giving me cash. He's going to keep coming, and Bobby Lang's going to keep beating his brains in. And yeah, it's an ATM. It's I just go to the bank of Pac-Man, put in my little PIN code, and he just hands me cash.
Can he
I'm
win?
predicting someone's going to get knocked out.
You think that he can knock out Bobby Lang?
I think someone's going to fall. I don't know knockout, but someone's going to fall.
Okay, so December 9th,
By
Providence,
R&R.
Rhode Island. Yeah, Ron and I will be there. We're very excited.
Just in time for the holidays. You are a father of two.
Yeah,
So
I need the money. It'll be great.
there it is. All right, let's get into the Thanksgiving games. As you mentioned, Dan, this is one of those days where you just eat as much as you possibly can, and then you get to watch 3 games, and you eat leftovers. And of course, the first one at 12:30, the Bills at the Lions. Now, it's a short week for the Bills, and they had the weird switch where they had to go to Detroit because it was snowing so hard in Buffalo. They're going to go back. And then the Detroit's, Rone, 3 in a row. The Detroit Lions have won 3 games in a row.
They're good. They have a great offensive line. Jamal Williams obviously is putting up astronomical numbers, leading the NFL in rushing, and he's kind of not even their starting running back. I think that this week is going to be the biggest test that they've had in the last 4, though, and I think that the Bills should be able to take care of business. Like you said, they have the long week in Detroit, so they could kind of unpack their bags, really get a flow going while they're out there. I think that the Bills are going to take care of business, but Detroit's frisky.
And Dan, we saw the Bills beat the Browns last week. They scored on every possession in the second half, and no concern with Josh Allen.
Yeah, so the Bills are going to win this game. I'll guarantee it. The Bills are going to win this game. But I want to use this time to just say what Dan Campbell's building. The fact that they've won 3 in a row, first time since 2017, 2 in a row on the road. He had never won a game on the road in the NFL up until last week or 2 weeks ago in Chicago. You got to feel good as a Lions fan. Like, this is the first time probably since Matthew Stafford took them to the playoffs that you're playing a Thanksgiving game, that if the Lions somehow find a way to win this game, they are now looking like, hey, are we maybe going to sneak into the playoffs here? Like, because the bottom of the NFC is pretty bad, and a 9-8 team can make it. So credit to the Lions. Like, it looked like they were the same old Lions when they started the season, and they were 1-6, 3 in a row. Dan Campbell, that offense, the defense has turned around since the bye week. But yeah, the Bills are going to kill them.
Yeah. Deion, what do you think?
This is the same old Lions, guys. They're a little better. I love Dan Campbell. I love his coaching style. I love what he stands for. But I'm reading right here that the Bills will get to stay in Detroit. So it's going to be like another home game for the Bills. They just played there. They were there before. Now they get to stay there that week, and they're going to play there again. And the fans, the Buffalo fans, are unbelievable. They travel everywhere, and they travel deep. Your guy, Mr. Allen, had been playing well. I haven't heard anything about that.
Played pretty well on Sunday against the Browns. Now, Deion, the human element, understand the human element. Rico Bosco, my friend, has taught me the human element. They spent an entire 3 days leading up to the game trying to get out of Buffalo, getting literally dug out of the city of Buffalo. They came into that game, came out flat. Didn't look good in the first quarter, and then they're like, "Hey, what are we doing here?" And then they put it on the Browns. Like their offense woke up. They had drives. Their defense played great. They held Nick Chubb to 19 yards. The Bills are just fine, and Josh Allen is still elite.
If the Lions can stay in the game and they can keep their running game going, that's their best chance to win.
Yeah.
If they get down early and they have to pass a bunch, Jared Goff's not going to be able to dig them out of anything. I think that they need to be able to run the ball if they want any chance of keeping it close with the Bills.
Also, Bills Mafia.
I'm with you guys.
Oh, Bills Mafia
go ahead.
being the one that dug them out, like dug players out to get to the airport. It's the best. I mean,
Yeah, it is. It's unbelievable what they have there. Josh Allen.
Pretty good.
I'm just saying, if Lamar would have been doing that stuff, I would have been.
Wait, whoa,
you know.
excuse me. How long did it take Lamar to get to double-digit points this week?
oh boy.
Well, we get to that.
Okay.
We get to
All right.
that
Okay.
soon.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just saying. But I'm going to pick the Bills and Josh Allen, but he needs to consistently throw the ball to his favorite receiver. He got upset last week, and you don't want to have the guy getting upset.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's go to the afternoon game. Always a heated rivalry between the Giants and the Cowboys. Deion, you've played in these games. You know how much it means to both of these teams. Now, the Giants, speaking of Detroit, just got embarrassed last week. The Cowboys also embarrassed the Vikings. I mean, that game wasn't even close. They won 40-3. But this Thanksgiving game, this rivalry, is always a crazy game. What do you think we can expect?
The consistency of a once doubted Dak Prescott. He's consistent. He can play the game at a high level. This is what I want to see, though. They have a problem on their hands, and no one's talking about it. It's not the Dallas Cowboy defense. It's not Dak Prescott. It's not the receiving core. It's what are you going to do with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard? I'm telling you, fellas, that kid can play this game in Tony Pollard. And the more he plays, the less Zeke get touches and touches and touches. I don't know how this is going to play out in the long run or even into next year. But I think we're seeing a glimpse of what to happen and what's to come for the Dallas Cowboys with Pollard. I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys by 14, and I don't even pick games by spreads.
I like that. Rone, I know that you don't want either one of these teams to win.
Unfortunately, the Dallas Cowboys are a juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
What their defensive line was able to do this past weekend, they ran Kirk Cousins out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Fowler's getting sacks. Parsons is getting sacks. All types of players are getting sacks. Everybody was eating on their defensive line. They're a scary team right now. Woe betide the league if Odell Beckham decides to sign with them, and I know that everybody is recruiting. Tony Pollard has been able to be a threat as a receiver. If they can add another receiving threats, what are defenses going to do?
Yeah. Tony Pollard is exceptional. He's electric. They do have a problem because he can't be off the field for too much because like he is
right.
right now he gives them a different element than Ezekiel Elliott. Also, Micah Parsons, that dude's psycho. He is truly psycho. Like he loves football to such an extreme level. He banged up his knee, went to the medical tent, then came back in a game that they were up 34 points. Like you can sit out you could sit out the rest of that game, Micah Parsons. No, he's going to play football no matter what. But I think the Cowboys, they are, like we've seen some moments where they've looked weak, but when they put it all together, they are head and shoulders against the Giants, who are a nice story, but you can feel like the air's coming out of the balloon a little bit with the Giants. They're a team that just isn't that talented, and the fact they're 7-3 is incredible. Brian Dable's done an incredible job, but at some point, what do they say, Deion? It's Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's. This is a Jimmy's and Joe's game.
When you look at the Giants stand, like you just mentioned, it's the kind of the shine's coming off a little bit. They have exceeded expectations, but Giants fans, after watching what they did last Sunday, it looked like the Giants were lost for the first time ever. Do you think it's going to look that bad against the Cowboys?
I just think that they don't have a ton of talent. They don't have a ton of weapons. If you can stop the run, which the Lions were able to do with keeping Saquon to under 50 yards, they become very one-dimensional, and one-dimensional teams in the NFL, like they're easy to game plan for. So if the Giants get behind in this game, they don't really have anything to get back in it. Like the Giants' way of winning is to keep it close and be able to get a couple breaks in the second half, and they weren't able to do it with the Lions. The Lions were able to pull away, and I think the Cowboys are too.
All right, let's get to the Thanksgiving night game. The Patriots at the Vikings, 8:20 p.m. This is about the time, Dan, where you're getting your leftovers out. You're ready to eat again. The Patriots had the crazy game last week where they ended up winning on a punt return for a touchdown. And, of course, we've talked about the Vikings getting killed by the Cowboys. This game, though, do you expect to see Kirk Cousins bounce back? And what do you think is going on with the Patriots and their offense?
This is a tough game because the Vikings are frauds. We all agree, right? They're frauds.
I was obliterated for saying the exact same thing. I said that they'd lose 3 of 4. They won the first one, a very impressive game against the Bills. But I think that, they've given up more points than they've scored in a season where they're 8-2. That's very indicative of being a fraud.
Right, and they're frauds, and that doesn't mean they aren't going to win a bunch of games. Like, I still think if you look at their schedule, I think they're going to end up 13-4. But they know deep down in the back of their head that what happened against the Cowboys, what happened against the Eagles, will happen again in the playoffs. I don't know, man.
Does it concern you, though, the way the Patriots have been playing, especially
their defense is very, very good. Their offense
You don't know who the
not
Patriots are as well.
Yeah.
No clue, no idea who the Patriots are.
I think the Patriots are an average team. Like, I think they are an average team where they're in that level right now where they can beat almost anyone except the truly great teams. And, man, this is a tough game. What are you going to tip?
I'm taking the Patriots.
Are you?
He said the Vikings were frauds 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots right here. And I think
too.
It comes down to the way whether they can take Justin Jefferson out of the game the way that the Cowboys took Justin Jefferson out of the game. But the Patriots' strength is they have great cornerbacks. They've been able to find cornerback talent in unlikely places. If you mix that with Matthew Judon kind of wreaking havoc, I think that that's a recipe for the Patriots to be able to go into Minnesota and get a win.
Okay, I'm
taking the Vikings. I'm taking the Vikings. I'm glad he sold you. I'm taking the Vikings at home. I don't feel like they're going to lay an egg 2 games in a row. I have no idea who the Patriots are. And what you guys are really saying, you're not saying the Patriots are going to go in this game and win. You're saying you think Bill Belichick is going to come up with a defense to stop that offense that was stopped a week ago in Dallas because they're frauds. That's what you're really saying. You're putting it on Bill Belichick, not the Patriots. So I'm going with the Vikings.
Here's what this game comes down to is that it's a coin flip. It truly is. Like no result outside of a blowout either way would surprise me. But the Patriots have a very good defense and they run the ball, and that travels on the road. So that's really
Kirk Cousins under the bright lights, too, is a different Kirk Cousins. If it was the first game of the day, there might be a different outcome, but there's going to be a lot of eyes.
Yeah, they call him the noon nightmare for a reason. When he plays at noon, he's dominant.
Noon nightmare.
Yeah.
He called him that. Ain't nobody called him.
No. Vikings fans call him that because when he plays at noon, Central Time, he's the best quarterback in the world. When he plays after 4 o'clock, It's a different story.
Yeah, the 1 p.m. memes of Kirk Cousins, I mean, obviously talking about Eastern, like those have been popping off for a reason. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's the new nightmare. I do see on here that it's the first Thanksgiving Day home game in franchise history for the
Oh, wow.
Vikings, so maybe Kirk Cousins can own that one too.
Yeah.
You think? Maybe
No.
he'll.
I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. I never have.
I know, and Rone said it, and you did happen to say that before they beat the Bills, but
And
that
I
doesn't-
had Vikings fans
I can
flooding
imagine.
my mentions, so cocky, saying unspeakable things that I wouldn't say in front of my mother or Coach Prime.
But were they really being mean? Because the one nice thing about Vikings fans is they still are very nice people.
Minnesota nice?
Yeah, no, like they're nice people.
I
I've
think
had them in my matches. They're nice.
I think Minnesota nice is a fake thing.
Oh.
I think if you have to keep on telling people, I'm so nice, just be nice. Why do you have to tell people how nice you are? It's a fake thing. It's all propaganda. I think that the Vikings are going to come back to earth.
Well, it's also the nice to your face, but then they say really bad shit behind your back.
Terrible stuff, or in the DMs.
We all know people like that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
or in the DMs because they're hiding behind a keyboard, Ron.
Exactly.
So got to keep that rolling. All right, so that's our Thanksgiving preview. Deion, we're thankful for you this year. You thankful for anything other than Dan and his Spanx?
Well, I'm thankful for my wonderful co-host and their families, friends, and loved ones, and especially their kids.
Yes, especially the
Very
kids. This show is for the kids.
For the kids.
right.
I got to bring my son back in. He's been asking about you, Dion. He's
He's
like,
been
who's
asking
that
about
guy
his-
who
Where's
has
my black
terrible
uncle? Where's my
opinions?
black uncle? That's what he
Yeah,
said.
yeah. No, he's like, who's that guy who's always wrong, and you have to tell him he's wrong. And I'm like, that's Uncle Dion. He's kind of a legend.
And no.
And oh.
And
And oh.
All right, guys, have a good Thanksgiving. We will be back Sunday morning for another episode breaking down this slate. Enjoy your family.